friends. It's Amy. Welcome to session 4 of our Remain study. I'm not going to try to do a live tonight. I feel like this method of just having several shorter videos makes it more bite-sized for y'all, and also just alleviates the stress of trying to figure out that actual YouTube live. So today is talking about remaining in Jesus, and that's what our study is all about, really, when it comes down to it. And the inspiration for our study is remaining in Jesus, because he says, remain in me as I also remain in you. So anyway, we have a garden talk and a John 14 look back, but I wanted to kind of share the importance of remaining in him, I guess, in my own personal life, and why it's important to me. Now, I didn't really realize, or I never really called it remaining in Jesus until I started studying John 15. I just kind of, when I would go through hard things, I realized, I need God, I need Jesus. And so, by being very intentional about worship music and reading the Bible and prayer, I was able to get through some things. So, like specifically, earlier this year, we moved to Florida from North Carolina. Just a totally random move. I'm still wrapping my brain about why we're even here. But it's been a very challenging year, full of new experiences and fearful circumstances. And so one of the first ones was in January, where I had to drive a U-Haul down from North Carolina to Florida to a place that I'd never even been. I was literally driving down a U-Haul to close on a house that I'd never seen, to a city I'd never been to, part of Florida I'd never been to, and it was just kind of unnerving, that aspect. But then also to pick up this 26-foot U-Haul. I've never driven a big truck before, but I was like, yeah, I guess I'm the one to do it, because Steve was already down here and working and trying to put things together. He was staying at an Airbnb for a few months, and I mean, it was me or nobody to get this done. So, I had people help me load the U-Haul. We loaded it up, and I hit the road, 5:30ish a.m. one morning, and drove this huge truck, and it was really scary for me. I'm not a very brave person, at least when it comes to like the physical world. I feel like I'm more brave spiritually, and I these trucks are like kind of older, so they're not with all the bells and whistles. They certainly don't have like backup cameras or anything, which I don't have a backup camera in my van, but for one of these trucks it would be nice. And so I hit the road, and how, well, at least for me, a lot of times I just have one hand on the steering wheel, or even like drive with my knees a little bit. I was like gripping both hands on the steering wheel and driving down 485, and I was just like so tense, because it was just really intimidating. This vehicle is so noisy and just huge compared to my minivan, and I was just always afraid, like, is it gonna fall apart, like, because it's so noisy and clunky, is all this stuff in the back just breaking and shattering, and just a really, really unnerving experience. And the only way that I really could get through that day of like driving 9 hours in this huge truck all alone, the only way I could get through the day was through remaining in Jesus, through just singing worship music, and like the old hymns, like turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. That song has gotten me through a lot. And even ones like Holy, 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 and Doxology. So these hymns, and just kind of having my perspective shift away from like, I'm terrified right now, I am in a situation that feels really outside of my control, and it was, but I can control my attitude. I can control my perspective. I can control what I choose to speak, what I choose to listen to. And in this truck, so it was so loud and noisy. And there was no like Bluetooth where I could hook up my Pandora and listen to stuff. Like, there was the radio, just like, the normal old school radio, and me. And I didn't feel like listening to the radio, so it was just me. Even if I like play music on my phone, the truck was so loud that I mean, I could hear it kind of, but not a very good surround sound experience. So it was just me and my praise and my prayers and 9 hours in this big thing. Pretty sure on that trip I only stopped once to get gas and to go pee, mainly because I mean, like, driving straight down a highway, way less intimidating than navigating narrow back roads or gas station parking lots. So I did it. I made it, and I made it to Pensacola and met up with Steve, and then the next morning we signed papers on this house. And I mean, Jesus really helped get me through it, and I'm thankful. And just the experience of remaining in him, no matter what our circumstance. Not every day is going to be a scary, big, moving day. Not every day is going to be one where we're sad or upset. I mean, there's a lot of just normal days in the in-between. But in those moments, in those normal moments, in those normal days, we still need to try to remain in Jesus. This year I've had so many opportunities to be intentional about remaining in him, because I had no clue what's going on. And in my uncertainty, I knew he was the only certain thing in my life at that time. Finances not certain, selling, the status of selling our other house, that was an ordeal. Moving to this one, doing all the packing and unpacking and loading, unloading, just, homeschooling the kids, and family members' health, and so many things where I have not been in control, but I know God is in control. And if I remain in him, then I can have that comfort and that peace and be able to bear fruit for his glory when I remain in Jesus. And so I want to encourage y'all in all of your circumstances, whether it's just a conversation with somebody or whether it's a happy thing, like, playing family games with the kids or something. You can remain in Jesus, and that can bring so much value to your experience and so much fruit and light and life into all the places of our hearts and of our lives. And that's really how we show the world who God is. We reflect his characteristics right back to him and bring him glory, and the world doesn't understand it. I mean, there's been a ton of things this year that don't make sense from a logical perspective, but from a heavenly and spiritual perspective, I can have peace in their nonsensicalness. And remaining in Jesus, I mean, really, at the end of the day, that is what he commanded us in John 15, is to remain in him as he remains in us. And it doesn't just happen. We have to allow it to happen. We have to be intentional about seeking him and just allowing him to be in all of the moments of every day, every conversation we have, every alone time we have. I mean, I fail and fall short all the time, so I'm certainly not trying to say that I'm an expert at this, but I have had a lot of opportunities to practice this year, which doesn't make me an expert, but it has allowed me to see things from a new perspective and maybe encourage others, just in new ways, and understand that we are all human and we're always going to fall short. But that doesn't mean we just give up. That doesn't mean we just walk away. I mean, okay, so you didn't remain in Jesus yesterday during those times, but hey, do it. Start now. Do it now. and when eventually you fall short again, it's okay. Pick yourself back up, or allow God to pick you up, and just keep going. But ultimately, remain in Him as He remains in you, and you will bear much fruit. That's what the verses say, and I have to believe them, and I do believe them from personal experience. I believe them because Jesus said them, and I believe them because I have experienced through this crazy year of uncertainty and all these opportunities to remain in Him. I've experienced so much fruit as well, and I have to believe that it's not a coincidence, that Jesus did know what He was talking about, and that we can really grow how we're supposed to grow when we remain connected to Him as the vine and allow Him to flow through us and to then bear fruit that resembles Him. So, yes, this is session 4 of the Remain study, and a garden talk and a John 14 look back. And I hope that y'all have an encouraging week and are able to find opportunities. If you don't know what it looks like or means to remain in Jesus, ask God to show you, because He is faithful to show you. But once you ask Him, listen for the answer. Don't just look for answers that you want. Listen for the actual answer that He has, and see how it can transform your day, your week, your year. But God is faithful, and His character remains constant even when ours does not. So remaining in Him gives us that foundation and strength and endurance and nutrients and all the things. So I hope that y'all have a wonderful week, and just continue to remain in Him as He remains in you.